Hey, good afternoon. It's Saturday, December 7th, 2024. This is the Almost Daily Podcast and the Mean Old Man. Apologize about the audio quality today. I'm actually in a tin can, actually in my wife's horse trailer at a horse show, but didn't want the day to go by without sharing some thoughts on history and news and just kind of give you guys a little insight into what's going on. Today is December 7th, 1941. Japanese attacked the United States at Pearl Harbor, dragging us into World War II. World War II was pretty rough. Everybody in the country jumped in. Basically, when the Japanese attacked us on Sunday the 7th, on the 8th we declared war on Japan. Concurrent with that, both Germany and Italy declared war on the United States, dragging the United States into basically World War II on both fronts, on the Asian front and in Europe. Up to that point in time, the United States had managed to be fairly neutral. As I'm sure a lot of you know, you had grandparents, great-grandparents, if they were in this country, that fought during World War II. Just about everybody did. Over 450,000 Americans died as a result of that war. Worldwide, 15 million people died in battle, 25 million people were injured, and another 45 million civilians. Think about this, 45 million people died, including 6 million Jews. A number of other ethnic minorities were so-called cleansed during this war. It had just amazing consequences. Everybody in the world was pretty much tied up in this. The United States made ridiculous sacrifices. It changed a lot of people's lives and really was the basis for a lot of things that happened in this country after the war in the 50s and into the 60s. So, now we're looking at things like Assad in Syria, maybe close to losing power there. It's unfortunate some 80 years later, we're still dealing with the same types of issues that we dealt with at the forefront of World War II. I think that's why it's so important that, we look at politics, we look at the people that get selected. It's really important to have people running our military who not only understand military, but understand history, understand they're playing 12 chess games at once. And more than just guys who were soldiers. They have to be really great strategic thinkers. We have basically war all around us at this point in time. There's so many factions in Syria. You almost need a scorecard to figure out who's doing what there. But you have Assad, you have the rebels, you have Iran backing Houthis and Hezbollah and Hamas, using Syria as a way actually to get weapons into Hamas and Hezbollah fighting in Israel. There's just so many different pieces going on. So, it's really, I guess the question or the comment to be made is that the global scenario is amazingly complex. And the idea that you're going to put somebody in charge as head of the army or secretary of defense or something like that doesn't have experience in these areas is absolutely ridiculous. Whatever our current new administration does won't have a huge impact on me, but I'm concerned that the next couple of years things are going to happen that are going to impact the generations after me. My daughter's generation, the kids that come after her. What happens the next couple of years is going to have a profound impact on the quality of life for Americans. So, my message really is pay attention to the news. Pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to what's happening in Washington. Pay attention to who Trump is picking for cabinet secretaries, things like that. It's not a popularity contest. You need people who really understand the depth and the history and the sensitivity and the interrelated connectivity of all these different things. So that's kind of the front on the news. Somebody sent me a comment to something I had posted that said, I shouldn't scare people. Bullshit. People should be scared. People should be concerned. People should understand that decisions have consequences And sometimes those consequences set in motion things that'll take weeks and months and maybe even years to play out. But yes, it's all important. All this stuff matters. So I urge everybody, pay attention to the news. Read things. Understand what's going on. Understand what your vote means. Understand life is not one-dimensional or two-dimensional. It has 50 different dimensions, multiplanar. And you have to understand that when you talk about politics and geopolitics and religion and war and conflict and economics and global control, there's an awful lot of pieces to it. So I urge people to pay attention to the news, read things, and really understand how the U.S. plays a role in all these different things in all these different parts of the world. Somebody on Snap reached out to me yesterday asking what could they do for their friend. The friend just found out that the father has cancer, and how do they support that friend? And it's something that I addressed offline in private chat. I didn't put a lot out there, but the more I thought about it, it's really worth talking about. I was 16. I was at college. I was a crazy smart kid when I was younger, but I was in college. I was 16, and my mother called me really the night before my first set of finals to tell me that she had cancer and she was going in for surgery. And it had a profound impact on me. It really did. I was an only child. I was very close to my mother and my father. I drove home that night, and I remember unlocking the door and opening the door, and the house was black. Not a single light was on in the house. My mother was at the hospital, and my father was sitting in the living room, not a single light on. And all I could see was the ember from his cigarette, that orange glow on the other side of the room. And he was sitting in the dark, and he was just crying. And I had never seen my father cry. So when I hear stories about young people who are finding out their parents have cancer, it really does resonate with me. I feel for you. I really, really do. It's tough, especially if you're close to your family. I will tell you that in my mother's case, we got lucky-ish. She would end up having a total of 4 different types of cancer. And in the end, she lived another 35 years, and it wasn't cancer that killed her. It was coronary artery disease. So, you don't know. She went through a lot of surgeries, just an awful lot of stuff, chemo and all kinds of things. But she was a tough old bird, and she hung in there. So, you don't know. I mean, it really depends on the type of cancer, where it's located, the stage of the cancer. There's so many variables. Plus, there's so many new treatments today that they didn't have 35, 45 years ago. So, my message to this person who reached out to me was, hey, just be there. Be there to listen. Be there to be supportive. Remind them that, you got to take one day at a time. Every day you're in the game, you're still in the game. You don't know what they're going to come out with tomorrow. It's about optimism. It's about being positive. It's about being realistic, but it's about being positive. You can either think of the glass as half full or half empty. And I think it's really important when you're dealing with someone who has a life-altering or life-ending illness to have that positivity. Be positive. Be realistic, but be positive. And be there to just kind of give them whatever support they may need. If you're still thinking about maybe doing a side hustle in 2025, do it. Get yourself organized, figure out what you want to do, figure out how you can do it, figure out, all the things you're going to need. Keep working towards it. Don't waste a day. January 1st is going to be here before you know it. And now is a great time to start planning something like a side hustle or anything else you want to accomplish in 2025. Remember, some people think they can do something, and some people think they can't do something, and they're both right. This has been the Mean Old Man. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Reach back to me on Snap. Let me know what you think, and we'll try to keep making this better as we go forward. Appreciate all your support and time.